We've all seen those videos of accidental or negligent discharges, and some have even wondered how the heck is that possible? Well, we'll talk about that, your questions, and a whole lot more tonight on the Builders Tribe Fireside Chat. Coming right up. What's happening, folks? What's happening? It's good to see y'all again on another Tuesday night for the Fireside Chat. I'm RAMjetta, and I'll be your host. I'm also your chief enabler. If you know anything about the Builders Tribe Forum, you know that I'm the guy that talks you all into buying the equipment that, I don't know, you need it. You absolutely need it. And I'm probably guilty more than anybody of seeing the shiny new toy and have to go out and get one and figure out how to build it into something. So definitely want to thank you guys for being here. I see a lot of the guys are in the chat. Guys, if this is your first time here, let's take care of some housekeeping. If this is your first time here, absolutely join the chat. The chat is live. We have a lot of the guys in there. Blade Boy, Bob, Massavo, Weapon X. He's on the run. He's coming in. He's going to be coming in hot in a few minutes, but he's already in the chat. Mr. Vino, I see you. Hawkeye, I see you. Oh, man, Mr. Vino, Ed Levance, I see you. All the usual suspects are here. We definitely grabbed the tribe is here. We got a few things we're going to talk about tonight. I'm still uploading some of the information we need, but by the time we get to it, I'll have it all ready for you. But it's been a crazy week, man. It's been a lot going on. I've been finding out a lot. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to give some things away tonight. Somebody check me by 11:45. If no matter what we're talking about, somebody check me, and I'm going to bring it up. We're going to give some stuff away because people have been waiting to get their things. Blade Boy, I see you in here, dude. Hit me in the DMs of the forum. Give me your address because you won a couple of weeks ago, and I got your. Where is it? I got your envelope right here. Got your envelope here with your winnings inside of it, but I got no name and address on the envelope because I don't have it. So hit me up. I want to send this out to you. If you don't want it, let me know. I'll give it to somebody else. Ain't no big deal. But I guarantee you it's something you put in the win. So, and there's probably some extra stuff in there too. But anyway, let's see. Was that everything? Oh, announcements for tonight. Oh man. It's getting hot outside and there's a lot of things going on in the neighborhoods. Guys, if you've got things going on in your neighborhood that we might be able to get to you. You never know who lives close to you. You never know. Wait a second. Hold on. Hold the phone. You never know who's close to you that can come out, meet with you, maybe hit the range or something. You just never know because there's people within reach and distance of me. I know Kyle is within a few hours, and who else is close by here? There's a few other people that's close by in Northern Virginia that we can get together if time permits. So if there are events, Sailman, he's down at Rocky Mountain. That's only about 2.5 hours from here. Last season, I was trying my best to get down there to him. It's something always came up, but Sailman, I guarantee you, I'm going to come down to Rocky Mount and we're going to do some shooting this year. That's for daggone sure. So, yeah, so that, and let me see if these files finished uploading. That way, yes, they have. I believe they have. Yes. All right. So here in Virginia this weekend, if you guys are close to here, there's an IDPA match at the Norfolk County Rifle Range. That's right here near me. I'm literally, I hear the gunfire when they're outside at the range. That's how close they are to here. I'm going to be down there on Friday. I'm going to be helping out. I'm not entering the match, but I want to go down there and see what it's like because I might decide to enter here real soon. So there's the information. It's going to be March 3rd from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. So even if you can't make it at 3 p.m. and you can get down here, if you're within a couple hours, come on down. We'll have some dinner. I'll show you around and we'll get to talk a little bit. If you're a member, well, nobody on here is a member. I'm not even a member yet, but I'm working on that. But non-members, it's only $15 to enter to the IDPA match. And that's going to be a fun time. I went out there last week for the, not last week, 2 weeks ago for the tactical shotgun match. And I just stood there in awe because I had never been to a tactical shotgun match. And I'm actually thinking about entering, since I bought the shotgun back in December, entering the tactical shotgun match that's coming up this weekend. It's going to be from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Actually, shooting starts around 9. Setup starts at 7. Now, I'm not going to be able to enter this week. I actually registered. As you see, registering is free, and then the match is $20 cost. I actually signed up to enter, but some of the equipment that I needed won't make it here in time. So I needed a magazine extension and a few other things. I got some of the stuff that came in the mail. I got the shotgun shell carrier. I got what else did I get? I got the Safari Land connection for my belt. I got all of that. But I didn't get some of the things I need. So I'm going to forego this week. They're having them every 2 weeks, guys. So if you can't make this weekend, if you're close enough, in 2 weeks, what's that, the 14th to 18th, they're going to have another one. Is that the 18th? 14 days plus 4? Yeah, 18. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Hey, I'm quick on the math. I'm quick on it. They're going to have another one. So if you can get here, guys, come on. Again, we'll do some lunch or something. We'll go to the range. After that, we can go down to the range where I am a member. We can send some down range. I got you on the ammunition. Got a couple of cases of ammo back there. We can go shoot whatever you want. And we'll do that. It'll be a good time. Speaking of shooting at the range, I went down to, where did I go? To Freedom. I want to say Freedom Center. I know online it's called Freedom Outdoors, but the local one has a different website. But if you go to Freedom Outdoors, you'll see, if you search for Virginia, you can go to that one. But it was my first time there, and I was able to take the shotgun, and I took one of my 300 blackouts that I haven't shot yet. So I was excited to get out there, and I didn't have any shotgun rounds yet. So I figured, I'll buy some shotgun rounds, and we'll shoot a few of them off. I figure I'm going to get a box of 25. Well, when I get there, they tell me it's slugs only, which is fine. No problem. Slugs only, because they don't want the bird shot flying everywhere. And then I asked, how much for a box of slugs? He goes, $8.95 or $7.99 plus tax. So I'm like, okay, so that's probably 12 rounds, 12 shells. He says, no, it's 5 shells. 5 shells for $8 and change after tax. I almost didn't get them, but I was like, man, I'm here. I got the new shotgun. I might as well shoot it and make sure it's good, because, I'm thinking about going out this weekend if I get the equipment. And the last thing you want to do is show up to a match and you've never fired the weapon before. That's bad mojo. So I shot it 5 times. Works great. Even the red dot I have on it, and it's a knockoff I had in the closet. Just something I grabbed, and it's been sitting in the cabinet for like 2 years. Never been on anything. I put it on there and say, well, let's see if it holds up to the recoil. It held up, and it was almost zeroed. So there's that. And then we shot the 16-inch 300 blackout Dayanikis, and I had to, I'm always carrying copperhead, so I had to go and let the guys shoot it. So they hate me now because they shot copperhead, because both of them, it was one of my partners and the range safety officer. Those guys at the range, they're always saying, oh, well, now who nobody shoots homemade firearms, and homemade firearms garbage, those elitists, those gun snobs, so I took copperhead out, sat it on the line, and told them, hey, go for it, shoot a mag out. And they shot it. They looked at me like I was crazy and was like, who the fuck built that? I'm like, I did. It's like, let's just say that the look on their face was priceless. So, but anyway, without hater load. Yeah, exactly. Let's go ahead, guys. I know you guys are busy out there. And what is the difference between high brass, low brass shotgun shells? I know one of them can be reloaded, the other can. I don't know the answer to that just yet. Working on it. I've been watching videos like crazy on shotgun shells. Looks like let's see, Hawkeye says more power. Okay. Hotter load. Yep. Okay. Sounds good to me. What's up, Mr. Bernie? What's going on? What's going on? We got Mr. Bernie in the house. And just in case, like I said, we got Bob in the house. We got Hawkeye, of course, Mr. Vino, Darth Dav. What's going on, sir? Good to see you. Ed Levance is here. Blade Boy. Blade Boy is always on the questions. Even with new PA versions released after the ban, it's such BS that no one will sell them in California. Absolutely. They're not going to sell anything in California, dude. Doesn't matter how compliant they are. If they can't get on the list, I mean, I hate it for you. But, you know, let's see. What else you got, Blade Boy? What's it? Oh, we already said that. All right. So looks like we got Mr. Weapon XYZ. He getting set up, guys. He'll be in a minute. And then we can get started with this week's subject. And this week's subject, in case you didn't know, and if you're watching for the first time, if you have a question about anything we talk about, if you're watching for the first time, or if you're a regular, put 4 question marks in the chat. That way we can pull your question out to the side and answer your question, because your question is important. Your being here is much appreciated. You could be doing anything on a Tuesday night at 10 o'clock, 10, 11 at this point, and you chose to be here with us. So we definitely appreciate you. Invite a friend, come back again. Hopefully we'll talk about something that you value. And, you know, if you're getting value from this show at any point, smash that thumbs up. Because we want to definitely show the algorithm that we deserve to be here, and we talk about good stuff, and we're just trying to share and educate everyone else. So if you have something you want to share, you want to feel free to join us. As a matter of fact, give me a second and I'll put the link in the chat. So if you want to join us tonight, you can. The chat is wide open. You can come in. There's some rules, you know, don't be disrespectful to anybody, or, you know, don't try to cuss anybody out. Other than that, man, it's kind of a free for all. I mean, you know, vulgar language is not a big problem. Just don't, you know, direct it at any one person or people. You know, we don't do that here. We keep it very, very respectful. So I just put the link in the chat. And if you do come in, just make sure that your broadcast, whatever you're watching it on, if you're watching on your computer and you're coming on your phone, just make sure you turn down your computer so you don't get any feedback. So with that being said, I want to introduce my man, my boy, the man, the myth, Mr. Weapon XYZ. What's going on, my dude?
What up, y'all?
Man, tell that dog that he got to be on our time frame, not his own, man.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you.
The master builder, Weapon XYZ, man. What's been going on with you this week?
Been good, man.
Yeah.
Working out, spending time with the wife, watching movies. That's about it, man.
Anything going on in the news up there in your neck of the woods?
Nothing recently, except for, you know, Governor Walsh.
Hi, till I said hi, till I can see her. Anyway, yeah, so you know, I'm not even going to go into that other story we were talking about earlier. That's not the subject of tonight. Maybe we'll tackle that on another show when we talk about legal use of force or something like that. But you know, I don't want to, you know, turn the show into a news show. We're all about building here, but sometimes there are things that we need to talk about, like tonight. We're going to talk about, if you saw on the thumbnail, it said, is that gun loaded? And we so many times we take things for granted. And out there, you've seen all the memes of people that you know, accidental misfires, negligent discharges, or all of that, and you know, they didn't mean it, they weren't being malicious, but shit happens, and unfortunately, it happens because
Murphy's
you have bad
Law,
habits. Man. Yeah, you either have bad habits or you just got excited and had a brain fart for a minute. It's happened to me, and I'll tell you a story about how recent it happened to me in a little bit. But have you ever had anybody or known anybody that has gotten hurt from a negligent discharge at all? You
Yeah.
weapon. It's like you didn't know I was talking to you.
Oh no,
yeah.
I knew.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it actually happens. And more times than not, it's in my particular case, when it's happened to me, it's just because either had a brain fart or not paying attention. And unfortunately, not paying attention can cost someone their life.
I'll come back to your question in a bit, your Darth Dad. I pinned it.
Yeah, so it pains me when people don't know, because they don't know. So since we have people that watch on the replay, and sometimes people might come across this because I keep these videos up. I don't delete the videos. If you go into Builder's Tribe, you'll find them. And you'll even find all of the FTQ 80 videos in the archives. So since we're talking about it, let's talk about how to properly. Now, I know most of the people that's in the chat, and everybody I can see in the chat knows this. So I don't think I'm trying to preach to you, but there's somebody who's going to watch this video that's not going to know the habits they should have when clearing a weapon. And we're going to talk about revolvers, and we're going to talk about revolvers, and we're going to talk about semi-automatic. So let's just talk about the semi-autos first. How do you clear a weapon? And I know I'm preaching to the choir, guys, so hang tight with me for a minute. It's not going to take long. One, you have to, drop the mag. You have to remove the mag from the gun. So as you can see in this picture, the person's removing the magazine. It doesn't look like they're inserting the magazine. They press the button, removing the magazine. All right. Second up, you got to clear the chamber. All right. Pull the slide back, eject that round. Even if there wasn't a round in there, you always make sure that the round, that the chamber is empty. And not only that, when you eject the round, you have to physically and visually check the chamber and the magazine, the mag well. All right, you have to inspect it.
And listen, I get a lot of people that go, well, why? I can see a bullet if it's in there. It's not necessarily the bullet that you're looking for. Something could have came disengaged from the round, say maybe a piece of a primer after the round went off. You could have got something stuck in the firing pin chamber. Shit happens. Like I said, Murphy's Law, if shit bad can happen, it will.
And by no means are you to look down a barrel from the business end. Do not do it. Look from the back. Look down the barrel from the chamber. Because what if you got a squib load? Anybody know what a squib load is? Squib load is when you've had a fire, it went off, but no round came out the front, which means that round is stuck in the mid in the chamber. Okay. Now, chances that it's going to come out if the there's no propellant, there's no gunpowder, chances is not going to just come out. But what if something crazy happens and you put the business end to your face and something comes flying out and hits you in the head?
I'm just going to touch on my personal belief behind firearm safety in general. All right. This is some people are going to laugh. Some people are going to understand my reference that I'm making. So I like to take the stance of Final Destination 1 through 5. Right. And that is when I clear my say I don't clear my firearm and I'm setting it on the table as I walk in the house. What is around that firearm? What is in my environment at that point in time that, the fucking who knows what, picture falls off the wall, hits a candlestick does a triple bypass backflip and lands square into my fucking trigger guard. You don't know. Shit happens, right? I think of that mentality the whole time I'm handling my firearm, or if I set it down somewhere, loaded or unloaded. If I'm clearing it completely and I'm storing the ammo somewhere, the ammo is stored. on the other side of the room or in another room completely. That way, there's no possible way that a bullet could gain some sort of omnipotence and do a dive into my chamber of my firearm. You know?
Yeah. And Bob said boiling water spills on it. Bob, that you sound like that's happened to you, dude. It sounds like that's happened to you.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen.
A bus full of logs drives by your house, and one goes rolling off and goes through the wall of your home. I mean, just it's the things you got to think of, the shit that could happen that you don't think about, or that you wouldn't generally think about happening right away.
Well, I've had that happen to me.
I had somebody who had their dog. They had set their firearm down on their bed. I believe he had like a Smith & Wesson M&P, like a 380. And he had the firearm sitting on his bed, and the dog jumped up on the bed, foot got into the trigger guard, and bang. And it wasn't one of the ones with the back strap safety either. Luckily, nobody was harmed. He lived in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and I think it might have went through a wall and hit a fucking hay bale or something. You know what I mean? But it's the things that you don't think about that could happen that will.
Yeah. And I've had that. I've had that happen to me. Back when I first moved to Virginia, this was in 1995. I know some of you guys haven't been alive that long, but back in 1995, when I first moved to Virginia, I had an armed security job. All right. Now, I will say in 1995, that's when I got my first firearm, my own personal first firearm. It was a 1911, 7+1. And I had come home from work, and I'm talking to my wife. And again, I'm not paying attention. Talking to my wife in the bedroom. I dropped the mag, didn't clear the chamber. So I'm talking. First of all, I can't even remember if I flashed her or not. I don't know. All I know
you gotta walk in the house. I do one of these. Like, hey, Kenny, how was your night at work? And you're just like, hold on, I gotta.
Yeah, and it taught me a valuable lesson that you take care of business first. Distraction. And when I put my hand down by my side, and all of a sudden I heard bang, and I'm like, the fuck was that? I'm like, I know I cleared this weapon. In my head, I'm like, I cleared this weapon. There's no way I didn't clear the weapon. So I look, and I don't find the casing. I looking at, I had carpet in the bedroom, so I'm looking around, where my hand fell. I'm like, okay, I don't feel any holes in the floor. I don't feel anything in the carpet. I don't feel anything. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm tripping. I'm like, maybe I'm tripping. All right. So the next day I go to work. I'm at work, again, armed security. I'm at work, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from my wife and says, the police are here. Why are the police there? Long story short, I did have a negligent discharge, because it was negligent on my part, because I didn't make sure that chamber was clear. The bullet went down through the floor on the diagonal trajectory, out the person's ceiling. I lived on the 3rd floor. So not only could I hurt somebody in the 2nd floor, it could have went all the way to the 1st floor. But it came through their house on a diagonal trajectory, out the ceiling, into their wall, and almost out the outside wall. The only thing stopped it was steel mesh. It even knocked the concrete, what do you call it? What is it, spackle? What do you call it when they put the concrete layer on top of the stucco? It even knocked the stucco out. When I went home, the thing was sticking in the wall. The cops came, and because the people came home, luckily they were not home. But they came home, saw a hole in their wall, a hole in their ceiling, and they knew I had a firearm. So the cop came upstairs. He didn't take the round out. I still have that slug somewhere. I still have that bullet somewhere in this house. And it's a constant reminder to me to always check. Well, fast forward to yesterday. I don't even have an excuse. And this is me being upfront with you guys and forthcoming because it could happen to anybody. I was at the range yesterday and we got to talking about custom guns. I'm there. I got my rifle. I got my custom built rifle. Got my new shotgun. I'm excited. I'm elated. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm having fun. You know, I'm with my buddy. Normally I'm at the range by myself, but I got one of my buddies with me. You know, I'm like, yeah, cool. No problem. So, hey, y'all want to shoot this? Now, I take it out of the holster. I drop the magazine. I put it on the line. What didn't I say in that sentence?
Clear it.
I did not clear the chamber. Now, nobody got hurt. It was aimed down range. But when my buddy went to pick it up, he had the foresight to clear the chamber. Just like you should do whenever you pick up a firearm from anyone, you automatically make sure it's clear. Even if you're about to load it, you make sure it's clear.
Even if you watch the person in front of you clear it and inspect the chamber and everything, you still again. That shit. Yep.
Because anything can happen. I felt bad for the rest of the day. And I'm like, damn, we're going to talk about this tomorrow night. And here I go messing up. Doesn't matter that I had it pointed down range. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that he's a former Navy EOD guy. The range safety officer was right there. Doesn't matter because the range safety officer is the one that told me, hey, you left one in the chamber. That type of shit would get you kicked off of range. If he would have wanted to be a dick, he could have kicked me off the range. Thank God he didn't. You know, they have a policy of, you know, if it's unintentional, you get a warning. And I guess that was his warning. He wasn't a dick about it. He just said, hey, you left one in the chamber. I was like, oh, shit. And I said, I told Weapon and Nas this afternoon. I said, I'm going to tell everybody. We talking about it. You know, I'm always upfront and honest about everything. If I fuck up, I fuck up. Plain and simple. So, guys, just, you know, be cognizant. And before we move forward, and we, you know, it's almost 10:30. And again, if you've just joining us, we're talking about, you know, how to clear a weapon, make sure it's always clear so you don't have any negligent discharges or accidents, and always inspect your firearm. We're going to go into inspecting in a minute, but some of you out there are wheel gun guys. You know, you like your you know, your revolvers. So and some people like to teach people revolvers. So always these are a little simpler. You know, you open your cylinder, push your fingers through, as you see in the picture, top left, push your fingers through. That way you make sure all of the rounds, as you can see in that one, they shot all 5 of them.
And you also make sure that wheel is not able to go back into battery.
Correct.
That is the other reason you put your fingers in there, folks. Yep.
And as you see in the bottom picture, you hit your release and you knock all of your rounds out. So that's real simple to do that. But inspecting your firearms, what would you say is the top priority when going to the range and maybe inspecting your firearm before you get started, Weapon X?
You know, specifically for my builds, I make sure that all my pins are in. It's a good one, by the way, folks. It's a very good one.
I had that today.
I don't have any. Funny. I don't have any terrible pin walk on any of my builds. I did, though, at one point in time on my Deadpool build. I had some cross armory pins, the coated ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, just a heads up, they are 2 spec. They fit fucking tighter than a you know what. But as soon as any of that coating wears off, guys, they become loose. They don't fit tight anymore, and they'll start creeping and walking out. So I went to the range one day, shut off a few rounds, and noticed about probably 5 rounds into a mag that my pin was hanging out almost halfway on the other side. It was probably hanging out a quarter of the way before I even started shooting. That's not good. I mean, that can lead to all sorts of issues all the way up to full auto, you know, if something were to get locked back into place. the sear got stuck or whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's one of the first things I check. Obviously, I check all of my firearms, make sure they're clear before I leave my home, before I put them in the bag, unless I am conceal and carrying. Then of course that firearm I clear when I get to the table. But when I get to the table, I set them all down. I aim them all, aiming down range. Pick them up. I check to make sure that they're still clear. I then load my mags, load them, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that's probably one of the first things I check would be pins, and then I check my chamber.
Yeah, I had an appointment this morning for 2 students, and from time to time I'll go out in my shop where it's complete dark, there's no windows or anything, and I know when I'm going to the range, sometimes I'll practice my draw because I can't practice on the range, and I always do it in the dark. That's my way.
Does your range have self-defense like CCW lanes?
No, they don't.
Where you can draw from hip?
No, they don't. Freedom does, but you have to qualify to go on that part of the range.
Right.
But so Freedom does have that, but Bob's does not. But I'm drawing and I'm practicing, and I'm like, what is that? Because I'm in the dark. I do that so I can make sure I can press out and catch my red dot or my green dot where it is. So I'm like, what is that on my thumb? And I turned the lights on, and my pin had crept out to the left. And I'm like, I've never had that happen. So I turned the lights on, went over, got the armor's block, tapped it back in. But I'm like, that's weird, because I hadn't shot that much over the last week, and it wasn't like that the last time I shot. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It didn't creep out today. Let a couple of guys fire off about 10 rounds each through it. But yeah,
we like to drop tidbits of info here and there, folks, especially when we're bringing up a topic like pin walk, for example. Granted, we're discussing unloading firearms, but if you guys do run into pin walk, there's a very simple and easy fix for that. You just take some clear nail polish, put it on the center. You put the pin in first, load a little bit in there, and then push it in the rest of the way. That way you get a little bit of clear nail polish on either side of the pin, the frame holes, and that'll help hold it into place. You can also use super glue, but remember, super glue can tend to fuse with polymer and might become a permanent placement for your pins, whereas just your plain acrylic clear nail polish works just fine. Or if you have any testers sitting around, that'll work too. And in a pinch, until you have a chance to correct it with some JB weld or buy new some pins or whatever the case may be.
And guys, just so some of you guys are probably saying, only a noob would have a negligent misfire. Well, call me a noob if that's what you want to call me. I don't give a damn. But sometimes there are people who are in professional settings that they're not noobs. They're police officers. It happens to everybody. I want to share this video, and some of you may have seen this. It's the end of this particular video, but this guy's a police officer, and he's teaching a class. And I hope you guys will be able to. Somebody let me know if the sound is on. I keep forgetting how to share this to make sure the sound is on. But
50 Too Short, all of them talk about Glock 40. Okay, I'm the only one in this room professional enough that I know of to carry this Glock 40. I'm the only one. No, all right. Is everybody all right? You all right?
So what you do?
That's just, it can happen to anybody. That police officer went to a class to teach. Why he had live ammunition anywhere near him, I don't know. That's the part that's negligent to me. Why he would have loaded the thing, because what if he wasn't facing the floor when he had that happen?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's just, but it could happen to anybody. So, guys, just because, give me 1 second for a second.
Anybody else here live in apartment complexes or places where you may have neighbors above or below you? If you do, like for example, I live on the 3rd floor. If I'm carrying a loaded firearm across my apartment, I will typically have it in this position. And the reason I have it in that position is because there's nobody that lives above me, right? I can perfectly go back into my state from here, but I don't have it down at my side. I don't have it here where it could possibly go off. I keep it right up here. Just another. Except we like to drop little tidbits of info.
Yes. All right, guys. What time we got? We got 10:35, so we got another few minutes. But drop a thumbs up if you're getting value from this. If you're watching on the replay, smash the thumbs up. I don't know how many people hit the thumbs up because I'm not paying attention, but we got 12 people watching, so we should have at least 12 thumbs from you guys, especially all you guys, because I know you're getting value from it because you're here every week and we appreciate it. But if you're new and you're checking this out for the first time, if you have any questions, if you're watching on the replay, feel free to drop a comment and we'll definitely answer, because Weapon and I are both within the first couple of days all over it, and we're making sure that we get all of the questions answered, and we definitely appreciate you watching. So and if you want to join us, go over to the builderstribe.org. We're over there every freaking day. Everybody is in there, and a lot of information is being shared. And just like with Darth Dav, he has a question: how can I fix a slide stop that engages with no magazine?
First thing I would check would be your spring. That'd be the very first thing I would go to. Make sure that you have enough spring tension on your slide stop. If you don't have enough spring tension, as the slide goes to go back in the battery, just that tiny little bit of rattle is just enough for that to bounce up if there's not enough spring tension. And
I would check, and that's a very good point. I've had that happen, and what I noticed was the part of the spring that's supposed to be underneath the pin slipped out.
That can happen too. Yep,
and if it's not under that pin, it'll ride up. It'll stay up. It won't have any tension at all. And every time you shoot, it's going to hold the slide back. So I would remove the slide, take a look down in there, and look at where your spring is. If it's not underneath the pin, what you need to do is take it out. All right. So you need to disassemble it, take it out, and bend your spring so when you put it back in, it stays underneath the pin. Because sometimes when we get those slide releases, the pins, the springs aren't bent the way they should be. I've had it happen a few times. So sometimes you have to rebend it.
A tip with that too is where the spring makes contact with the slide release, you'll notice that it's bent and crimped into a little space. My best suggestion is to get yourself a needle nose pliers or good pliers to hold that in place so that doesn't move. It doesn't rock forward or backwards. It doesn't bend in or out. The only part you want to bend is where the curvature is, right at the point of the curvature.
Absolutely.
So make sure you hold that in space really
sometimes you have to close the
radius
radius just a little bit. You have to close the radius a little bit, but if the spring is like this, sometimes you have to close that radius a little bit and still push it forward so it stays underneath the pin, because the pin is here. So that spring has to stay underneath the pin, and sometimes if the radius isn't right, it can slip from underneath the pin. So sometimes you have to close the radius and stick it forward just a little bit, enough for it to stay underneath the top pin, but the trigger pin can still go through it.
And there's also the rarity where you could have gotten a spring that wasn't correctly heat treated, which can
when
happen.
It was too short.
To me. Yep, it happened to me. I had a Tyrant CNC slide stop that had a bad spring on it. I just contacted the company and had them send me out a brand new one.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I got the brand new one and compared the two, the coloration in the metal was completely different. Like you could tell the one hadn't been correctly heat treated, and the spring was thinner, visibly thinner. So,
yep, shit happens. All right, guys. You got anything else for him, Mr. Weapon XYZ? While I go through here and look for some people to give some stuff away to.
what's that, brother?
I said, you have anything else you want to discuss while I go through here and find some of the prizes that we can give away?
Off the top of my head.
Well, talk about anything then.
Back into the negligent discharge stuff, we actually had we had spoken about anything close by to us about I think sometime last year, maybe early 2022. Hy-Vee, not too far from me. A gentleman went in to use the restroom. He has a CCW. He was carrying his firearm. I do not know what type of firearm it was. But he went to go sit down in the toilet. His pants dropped and his firearm went off. Shot himself right in the back of the calf. Luckily he got medical assistance and everything turned out fine for him. But it was just another one of those. We talk about the final destination situations. The dude had it properly holstered apparently as well. It just so happened that it struck the firearm in just the right position to where the pin dropped and the round went off.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And I think embarrassment had set in. I mean, obviously somebody heard the shot, but the person, he didn't call for help until somebody was outside of the bathroom asking him if he needed help. Embarrassment, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
If anybody here has seen the video of the guy standing at the fast food restaurant, I think he's just got a firearm in his pocket. He's just pocket carrying with no holster. And all of a sudden you hear bang.
I hate to see that.
And everybody in the restaurant's looking around and they're like, what the fuck was that? And the dude's like, I don't know, man. That was weird. Checks his leg to make sure he's not bleeding anywhere. And they're like, God, it almost sounded like a gunshot. He's like, God, that was fucking crazy, man. If you know what happened, that's nuts. What was that?
Oh, Lord have mercy. I tell you. Yeah, he wanted to play dumb right then, didn't he? Jeez. All right. So Glock Gen 3 recaptured cross spray. Wait a minute here. Let me check something. Glock Gen 3. G17. All right, so why don't we give away a Glock 17 captured recoil spring assembly? Anybody interested or not? Let's see. It looks like we got quite a few people. Mr. Sailman, Mr. Vino. Let me share my screen real quick so we can get this thing going on. Let's see. Share my screen. See, I'm beating y'all to the punch. I told y'all 11:15. I am 2 minutes early. Yes. All right, let's see. Which screen am I going to share? Here we go. Wheel of Names. Wheel of Names. Yeah.
It's the name of my new album coming out in March.
There we go. All right. We got Mr. Bernie. We got Sailman. We got Mr. Vino. And MTM. Who's MTM? I think that's Mike. Anyway, I know who it is when I go into the Builders Tribe. And he's not here tonight. So I'll make sure to get his information. So you guys ready to give this thing away? I think I got 2 of them. All right, let's go. Let's see who we got. Everybody got a 25% chance. Looks like it's going to be Mr. Bernie. Mr. Bernie. Welcome. Congratulations, Mr. Bernie. Make sure you hit me up in the DMs so we know that I can send this out. And I got something else too. Let me see what else I got. I got somebody else, another. Looks like we got the Glock OEM Gen 4 trigger. Did we get it up? Didn't we give that away already? Did we give that away? I think we did. I think Matt Adams won that. All right. So do me a favor, Weapon. Can you put the winners down in the private chat for me?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
That way I don't lose track. Let me see what else we got. I think we have enough to do. Yes, we do. We have enough to do the 80% arms black AR 15, 80% lower.
Hey, speaking of, since we've got you in here, didn't you need Blade Boy for something as well? Sir?
Yeah, I told him before you came in that we needed his information. Just in case, go ahead, tell him again, just in case he didn't hear me earlier.
So you can get the stuff you won, good sir.
Mr. Man.
We can send it to you.
All right, give me a second. Let me add the other names in here. Blade Boy, make sure you hit me up if you haven't already. And that way you can get your goods. Let's see, I just got to add one more name to this and we can do this draw. Mr. Vino is in on this as well. And so is Jeffro. Why does it say I have empty space? It's not good. Give me a second. Let me fix this. That's not good. There we go. All right, so this is for the 80% arms, 80% AR-15 lower. This is a hot commodity, and it's going to be sent out directly to you. You just have to let me know what your address is. So let's go ahead and let me double check. Let me make sure I got everyone's name. I don't want to miss anybody on this one. Looks like Mr. Bernie's in on this one too. So I'm glad I double checked. I got you, Mr. Bernie. I got you.
He's gonna pull two in a row. Is he
gonna pull? He might. Let me go ahead and add his name to this list as well. Chances just went down, folks. It just went down. Mr. Bernie is in the house.
Blade Boy, Ram had a similar thing happen not too long ago with a slide that he had purchased that went back very shortly after. Lots of QC fuck ups. Burr Spurs and cowboy boots. Yeehaw.
Yeah, that thing was horrible. Don't deal with statement defense. I'm a scream it from the side. They can't claim liable. They know they messed up. I got all the records. Anyway. All right, here we go. Let's see. Let's spin this wheel. Who we gonna get the win this time? Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Way. Congratulations, Bernie. Congratulations.
Mr. Bernie wins again. He comes in sliding into home late. And he comes in. He actually was the last one to enter as well. Jeez, it must be fate, dude. That's all I can say. Congratulations, Mr. Bernie. The big winner tonight. Let's see. If we have something else, I'll do one more. Let me see if we got one more. Let's see. I don't see anything else. We got a couple on here that only one person entered. Okay, wait a minute. We got front and rear Glock plastic OEM standard height sights. Yeah, we can do that one. Sailman, Senior Moment, and Darth Daff. All right, so give me a second. I will add those names in.
Hey, you never know. You might need a rear Glock sight. Somebody, if you got frustrated like I did with one and didn't have a sight pusher, just rip that bitch out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Take out the little metal piece.
Yeah, mule. Yeah.
I have one now. I have a sight pusher now. As a matter of fact, I have one to give away one of these giveaways. Ram, we should include that in one of the giveaways one of these days.
Okay, we can do it next week.
Medium quality 3D printed sight pusher. I had ordered one and I got shipped 2 of them, so I don't need both of them.
Yeah. All right. So, you spin me right. You stupid Bob. All right, so everybody got a 33 and a third % chance of winning this one. Senior Moment, Darth Av and Sailman. This is, again, it is for, are you keeping track of what the prizes are, dude? Weapon?
Nope.
Yeah. Let's go ahead
and
do that.
Just the winners.
Can you keep track of what they're winning? All right, so we know Mr. Bernie won the Glock 17 OEM recoil spring and the 80% lower AR-15 lower. And this is for the front and rear Glock plastic OEM standard height sights. These come in handy. If you got no sights, man, something is better than nothing. That's for daggone sure.
I got
All
you.
Right. All right, so here we go. Let's spin this wheel. What we got? Senior Moment. All right, congratulations, Senior Moment. And yes, I have your address, so I will get that out. Everybody who's winning, I will do my best to get it out by this weekend. If not this weekend, definitely by, if not by Friday, definitely by Monday. And you should have it soon after that. So I know I got classes stacked up the next couple of days, so I may not get it out this weekend. But I'm going to do my best. Promise I'm going to do my best. All right, so I think that's all we had cleared for now. And guys, I just want to implore you just to don't be like me. Don't get excited, and always practice your habits, your good habits of clearing your weapon, inspecting your weapon, because inspecting is just as good as clearing, because a gentleman today said he hated Glocks. I asked him why he hated Glocks, and he said because his father had him shoot a Glock. Now he's 20 years old. He said his father had him shoot a Glock, and he shot it, then his father shot it. When his father shot it, it exploded in his hands. Now, granted, that was probably an ammunition issue, but was the ammunition old? Was it corrosive? Was it the wrong load for the gun? Was it plus P plus? All of these things are factors that you have to inspect. You don't want to shoot the wrong ammunition out of the wrong gun. Go ahead.
Polymer 80s, folks, plus P is fine.
Don't do plus P.
It's not something that I would run on a regular basis. But plus P plus, bad. Stay away. Especially for your 9mm builds. I just don't do it. You might be fine, and you might get a few rounds off before something cracks or you get a weak point or something. But I just wouldn't do it. Don't mess with it.
Yeah, it just.
I shoot plus P out of mine all the time. I just don't do the plus P plus.
Yeah, I think I've only shot plus P out of mine once. I
think I've put a full box of plus P through a 20 rounds self-defense box. It was an old Underwood one I had sitting around. So obviously good quality ammo.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you got
my self-defense round of choice.
Yesterday when I went to the range, before I left, the night before, I'm preparing because I know I'm taking the shotgun. I know I'm taking Dainiki's the 300 Blackout, but I also know I have 5.56 ammo loaded up in the mags as well. And the last thing I want to do is take 5.56 ammo to shoot it through a 300 blackout. That's a dangerous situation. So the night before, I made sure I inspected all my magazines that were loaded. And I'm like, okay, I thought I had more 300 blackout, but I didn't. But most of my mags were filled up with either 223 or 5.56. So I loaded everything in the case the night before, so I didn't make a mistake the next morning and grab the wrong freaking mags. It's all about inspection. You got to be careful, guys. You got to inspect this stuff because you could have a problem. And with a rifle, you don't want to have an explosion right near your face.
Yeah. Well, both me and Ram, also recently had our front sight snap on us.
Oh,
which is another thing. Keep an eye out for, because what'll happen is if they do snap, if it snaps at the nut, that nut is now free floating inside of your slide.
Yep.
And it's possible that the actual stem of the front sight might still be in place and might hold in place for a while, depending on how tight it was when you put it in.
Yep.
So, it's another thing to inspect.
Oh, I had
granted, I got lucky. It happened as I was retightening it after it fell out. Rams happened during fire, though.
During fire, and what do you call it? My firing pin. My firing pin snapped 2 weeks ago in Copperhead on the range with a student firing Copperhead. But that ended the day because I didn't have another firing pin in my bag.
What did I say right after you told me about your situation? What did I say, Ram? You remember what I said?
No, I don't remember what you said.
I said, I need to order myself some more firing pins because you know what? That's a good fucking idea. I think I might have one spare sitting around, but I doubt it.
Yep.
So I should probably have at least 3 or 4.
I didn't have a spare, and I'm glad the gentleman is in here because if it wasn't for Ed Levance, I wouldn't have been able to go to my next student's class because I couldn't get a firing pin in time. And Ed Levance had sent in his box of goodies, there was a Glock 19 firing pin. And I hit him up. I said, Ed, I need a favor, dude. I need to put this in Copperhead because I got a student. And he's like, dude, he's like, whatever's in that box belongs to the tribe. Go for it. And I really appreciate Ed because I literally went to every gun shop in this area. No one had firing pins. I spent the whole day driving around to all the different shops. No one had firing pins. Even the ones that had gunsmiths on duty, they didn't have them. They didn't even have.
Spent about a half an hour online looking at prices for them too.
The best price right now is at Midway USA. They got it's not OEM, but I hear it's very good. So it'll pass for a backup.
Right.
I wouldn't keep it in the gun to run, as my EDC. But if something should happen and you need to throw one in there, it works. So I've got a couple of those on the way, just for backup. But I do thank Mr. Ed Levance for helping me out there, man. I really appreciate it. And, got me back up and running so I didn't have to be naked out there or carry a firearm I didn't want to carry. But it is 10:58 and I got one more giveaway. I found one more.
Ooh,
so let's see who we got in this one now. Let's see. We got Jeffro, we got JM Motorsports 55, Darth Dav, and Senior Moment. And what is it?
Bob said if Midway will ship you a firing pin correctly.
Yeah, hopefully.
Is this a G26 firing pin? What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. Their warehouses.
Why'd they send me a firing pin for a staccato? The fuck is this?
All right, this is one that's that Jeffro really wants. Jeffro really wants this one. He's like, he said, man, this could come in handy. But this one is for the. I just had it up. Give me a sec. This one's for the Glock charging slide grip that the Hawkeye sent. So Hawkeye, thanks for sending this in, and we are going to spin the wheel. If I can get back to the screen so I can see you guys. All right, here we go. Oh, Dang, Jeffro, my bad, man. You almost got it. Almost got it, man. But Darth Dav 777, congratulations, my friend. You won the Glock charging slide grip, and I'll get that out to you. I have your address, of course, and we'll get that sent out to you. Like I said, if not by the weekend, definitely by Monday. So with that being said, guys, we're done. Unless anybody has something that they want to share, anything else, going on in the world. Next week we'll talk about a few things about building. We're going, the motto in 2023 is let's get back to building, guys. The markets are open, the prices are going down. Let's get these builds going. As y'all saw, I finally released Liberator into the open. It's all over the place. And the next thing coming up, I got Dianikis, currently editing Dianikis. And Mr. Hawkeye's got the Black Widow reveal on the Builder Showcase. Hopefully I'll have that edited by next week. And we'll get that out there so everyone can see the beauty that is Hawkeye's builds. Because unless people are part of the forum, a lot of people don't know that Hawkeye is a master builder himself, prolific poster. He puts a lot of the blog stuff up. If you're watching this, go to the link at the bottom, www.builderstribe.org, or drop the www. I don't even think that's on there. I think I messed that up.
I got it. Hold up. You got it, brother. I got the doc up.
Yeah. So, builderstribe.org, and hopefully next week I'll be able to have the showcase for that. And we got Great Maker. He sent me the pictures for his. Guys, if you want your build, or you have a build that you want me to do a showcase video for, doesn't have to be a Gucci build, doesn't have to be a custom build. It has to be something that you're proud of. That's it. Doesn't have, if you're proud of it, it doesn't matter what it looks like. I don't care. I want to be able to showcase your building, because more people need to know that they can still build if they want to build. And a lot of people need to know that you can build and you're not building a firecracker. Yeah, because unfortunately that's a stigma that has come with building polymer 80s. Is you get this typical I built it and it didn't blow up on me, and that's just because of the stigma that comes with building, unfortunately. Yeah. The range safety officer yesterday said, "Oh, you carry an IED on your build." He's looking at my old light. I'm like, you must have had one of the real old lights. Nah, it was a new one. I said, okay, whatever, dude. You must have left it sitting on in your pocket for an hour and you felt the heat. He was that type of guy. He was like, oh, it wasn't my fault. Yeah, it was your fault, dude. Now, granted, they have had a few that they've had to have recalled. I had one personally.
Most of those were handheld flashlights and not WMLs.
That's right, not WMLs. So anyway, with that being said, we are going to get out of here, guys. We love you. We thank you for joining us in here tonight. Oh man, it's just been another good one. Glad that we were able to. That was loud, or is it just me? Just me. Guys, another week is come. Another week is gone. Another week will come, Lord willing. So just watch out. Watch your stick. Help anybody that needs help. And we'll hopefully see you next week, guys.